Long ago, during the reign of King Ahab in Israel, the land was steeped in idolatry. Queen Jezebel had led the people to worship Baal, a pagan god, turning their hearts away from the Lord. As a result, Elijah, the prophet of the true God, was sent to challenge this false worship and remind the people of Israel of their covenant with God. To prove the power and sovereignty of the Lord, Elijah called for a showdown on Mount Carmel. He approached King Ahab and said, "Summon the people of Israel and the 450 prophets of Baal to the mountain. We will settle this once and for all." Ahab agreed, and the people gathered on Mount Carmel. Elijah stood before them and declared, "How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him, but if Baal is God, follow him." The people remained silent, unsure of who was the true God. Elijah then proposed a test. "Bring 2 bulls. The prophets of Baal will prepare 1 bull and place it on their altar without setting fire to it. I will prepare the other bull and place it on the Lord's altar. Then, we will each call on the name of our gods, and the God who answers by fire, he is the true God." The people agreed, for this was a fair test. The prophets of Baal prepared their bull and began to call on their God. From morning till noon, they cried out, "O Baal, answer us." But there was no response. They danced around their altar, slashing themselves with swords and spears, as was their custom, trying to gain Baal's attention. Still, there was no answer. At noon, Elijah began to mock them, saying, "Shout louder. Surely he is a god. Perhaps he is deep in thought, or busy, or traveling. Maybe he is sleeping and must be awakened." The prophets of Baal shouted even louder and continued their frenzied actions, but no fire came from heaven. As evening approached, Elijah called the people to him. He repaired the Lord's altar, which had been broken down, and took 12 stones, 1 for each of the tribes of Israel, to build it anew. Then, he dug a trench around the altar. He arranged the wood, cut the bull into pieces, and laid it on the wood. But Elijah wasn't done. He gave an extraordinary command: "Fill 4 large jars with water and pour it on the offering and the wood." They did so. "Do it again," he said, and they did. "Do it a 3rd time," he ordered, and the water soaked the altar, filling the trench around it. Everything was drenched, making it impossible for a fire to start by human means. Then, Elijah stepped forward and prayed, "O Lord, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God in Israel and that I am your servant and have done all these things at your command. Answer me, O Lord, so these people will know that you, O Lord, are God, and that you are turning their hearts back again." Immediately, the fire of the Lord fell from heaven. It consumed the burnt offering, the wood, the stones, the soil, and even licked up the water in the trench. When the people saw this, they fell on their faces and cried, "The Lord, he is God. The Lord, he is God." Elijah then commanded the people to seize the prophets of Baal. They were taken down to the Kishon Valley and put to death, as a sign that the false gods had no power in the presence of the one true God. After this victory, Elijah prayed for rain, and the Lord sent a mighty downpour, ending the drought that had plagued the land for 3 years.